What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, we're going to be going over all of the brand new news that has dropped on OPTC Global straight after the maintenance has finished. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. The first thing that we're going to be discussing is going to be the admin notice, which does state a brand new list of limit breakable characters. So from now on, all of these characters will now be limit breakable, which is awesome. This does not mean that other characters that came up before on these lists are now not limit breakable. These are just added to the list. So all of these characters here, you can now go ahead and limit break. So let's go actually straight to the character box and just have a look at what characters are limit breakable just straight away from this perspective here. So if we go to the int, you can see the int actually had a lot of support as well. I can definitely see a lot of int characters here that were not limit breakable previously. You got Pedro, Sicilian, Zio, pretty sure Haruto wasn't limit breakable before as well. You have, I think Time Skip Brook might not have been. Might have been. I don't remember about Time Skip Brook. But you got Bluno, you've got Inthawk, which is a really big one. I've already gone ahead and got to his first node because he has the ability Enrage, and I had a dupe of Mihawk, so I thought why not go ahead and actually go ahead and spend that, which was awesome. So limit breaking Mihawk is actually super worth it. He's got a really good limit break. His critical attack, I believe, is his last limit break ability. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, so it's a 40% chance for 4% extra damage at level 1, but at max level, I believe it's 90% chance for 10% extra damage, which is insane. Like, that is the best crit out of anyone in the entire game, or equal best crit in the entire game. Like, Inthawk has an amazing limit break. He gets a cooldown reduction too, which is quite nice as well. Moving on to the side characters, you've got access to .Q. You have a couple of Coliseum characters in Gunfor and also Olympus. You have access to Fukaboshi as well. You've got access to the Psy Law. Now, Psy Law is actually pretty good because he gets a limit break that gives him access to a lot of cooldown reduction. He gets full cooldown reduction, which is really, really good. And I believe with max special with this, he goes down to a 16-turn cooldown. Now, I believe when his Super Evolution comes out, he actually gets like a ton more cooldown reduction as well. So this actually might be worth it if you guys are planning to use Psy Law in the future. He's an exceptional unit, and with his 6+, he's very, very strong. So I would definitely recommend limit breaking Psy Law. Moving on to the quick characters, we have, it doesn't look like there's too much change in the quick department. This batch was mainly powerhouse related, so a lot of powerhouse related characters got limit breaks in this batch. Like Hody, who got limit broken last treasure map, was accidentally, you know, there was a huge glitch with that. So we actually got that a month early, but Hody was supposed to come out with this limit break batch as well, so you have to take that into consideration too. You've got the quick Jabra here as well. And you've got access to, I think, this Sanji, the story mode Sanji now has a limit break, so that's 5+ Sanji now has a limit break. He gets a cooldown reduction, or 2 sets of cooldown reduction, which is actually pretty good. But a lot of people are going to say, you know, which character should I limit break? I always say, whichever characters you use the most are the ones you want to limit break. Typically, the better characters in the game will typically have better limit breaks. There's not too many instances where really bad characters get limit breaks that make them insane again. But there is one I specifically want to talk about. I talked about this in many streams, and I might have talked about it in a couple of videos. Dex Kaku finally has his limit break. Now, unfortunately, I cannot do it. I don't have enough material to do so, but he gets some extra stats. He gets an extra socket, 9 cooldown reduction, which puts him in, I believe, 7 turns. He gets a captain ability upgrade, which boosts Dex character's attack by 2.25, and he doubles the damage from Dex character special. He gives a health boost as well. But his crewmate ability will reduce his special charge time by 1 turn every time a powerhouse character or just another character. Yeah, any other character uses his special, then he gets a cooldown reduction for himself. And remember, he's only got a 7-turn cooldown at max with max limit break. So you can continuously use his special in multiple times throughout a run. But the reason why you want to use his special, if you guys don't know what he does, he basically just does AoE large random dex damage. He's very, very good for running really easy content with Hody teams, because running double Hody as your captain, you can keep reducing cooldown. Whenever you use Hody's special to reduce cooldown, it reduces his special by 2 turns because of his sailor ability, and you can cycle through this guy very, very quickly and do lots of AoE damage to just really low health mob characters, which is why this character is so good for Hody teams. So if you guys are really big into using Hody Jones, I would look into limit breaking this character if you guys have him at max special. He's very, very worth it. Moving on though, we've got Lion Song Zoro, which actually has a limit break. I don't know if he had a limit break prior to this, but he gets 13 cooldown reduction, and he gets a really cool sailor ability that will go ahead and make characters' strength slots have matching slot effects for slashers and driven characters. Now this will be very good when we get V2 Dofi, or when we get more driven support, or even for Akainu teams. You can run like a full Dex Akainu team, not a Dex, sorry, driven Akainu team, and you can get lots of matching odds with those strength odds. But remember, this character doesn't really do that much. His special ability alone is pretty bad. It does 25 times his attack and dex damage to only a single enemy, so he's pretty bad. The only reason you would be using him is for his sailor ability, but overall he's not very worthwhile in my personal opinion. And the strength characters, it doesn't look like we missed too much here. Daruma is actually a decent limit break too. He gets a cooldown reduction. He's actually a pretty decent unit. But as of strength characters, 3-day 2-year Zoro gets some cooldown reduction, an upgraded captain ability. You know, in the future, he's not going to be used as much, especially with the next batch of characters that are supposed to be coming out, which is V2 Fuji with the Strength Kyros. You're not really going to be using this guy that much if you have Strength Kyros. Strength Kyros is just so much better in every way, shape, or form in comparison to that 3-day 2-year Zoro. You've got Captain Kid, who is kind of, and that's about it. So there's not really too much to really talk about overall in terms of the limit break stuff. But as I said, if there's any character that you use like really often and they have a limit break, typically they're going to be good characters to limit break. And obviously legends, for the most part, are good. There are some legends with pretty bad limit breaks, but anyways, that's the first thing that I really wanted to get through, you guys, is that there's a new limit break badge, which is quite nice. Let's talk about the treasure map, okay? So the treasure map is coming out on the 18th of April until the 22nd of April. So I believe that's a 5-day treasure map like before. So unfortunately, it's going to be quite tough. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's 5 days. It's like April 18th, then the 19th, the 20th. Yeah, so it's 5-day treasure map, which is pretty brutal. Same time period as the previous treasure map, starting at midnight PST all the way to midnight PST on the 22nd. But let's go over the new Whitebeard. So what are you guys actually going to be farming for in this treasure map Whitebeard, okay? So this is the character that you'll get instead of the Mihawk in the last treasure map. So if you get to 1,000,000 points in treasure map, you'll be given all the required materials to max limit break your Whitebeard. So Whitebeard is an int striker powerhouse type character, max level 99, max special level is 15. So with limit breaking and with feeding copies to him, he will eventually max out at 15 turns. His special is the Quake Glaive, and the captain ability is the strongest pops in the world. Unfortunately, it's a really long special, so we'll wait for it to cycle through. But this guy is not really a character that a lot of people really like. He is probably one of the least used treasure map characters in the entire game in terms of the Japan meta, but that does not undermine how powerful he is, okay? So his special ability changes his own slot into int, does 100 times his attack in AoE damage to all enemies, that will ignore barriers and defensive buffs as well. And if the enemy has an immunity to delay all status effects, he will double your crew's slot effect, so 2 times orb boost for 1 turn. And if the enemy has a barrier, he boosts his own attack by 2.25 for 1 turn. Now both of these abilities do stack. So if the enemy has a barrier and they have a delay protector, or they have a barrier and a debuff protector, it's a 2 times orb boost for your crew. He gives himself a 2.25 attack boost. He gives himself a matching orb and 100 times his attack AoE that goes through barriers. He's really, really strong. And the main team that utilizes this guy pretty effectively is going to be Hody teams, because you can go ahead and use him on a reasonably low cooldown with Hody teams because of all the cooldown reduction and stuff. And also the fact that, you know, Powerhouse have some pretty good AoE damage dealers. Hody himself is an AoE damage dealer. V2 Lucci is an AoE damage dealer. And they have Whitebeard as well. So Powerhouse are very strong at clearing mobs in Colosseums and raid bosses and such. And this guy's going to add to that as well. So he's really, really strong. I would highly recommend maxing him out. That special is so goddamn good. Especially when you max out his stats as well. 100 times his attack is so much damage. It is a lot of damage. And his captain ability is actually... honestly, it's probably the weakest captain ability out of all of the treasure map characters. If you guys are very familiar with Legend Crocodile, it's very similar to that, where it scales depending on how much your HP is left. At max HP, you have the lowest multiplier, but at low HP, you have the highest. So it boosts your crew's HP by 1.35, that's a big health boost. Boost your attack up to 3.25 more when HP is low. So it's 3.25 at 1 HP, and at max HP, it's no boost. So it scales from 1 times all the way up to 3.25, depending on how much your health is. So honestly, I don't think he's going to be used that much as a captain. He's not the best. But let's go through his crewmate ability. So it will go ahead and boost your crew's HP by 100, which is actually decent, and also boost your crew's attack by 50. So that's actually a pretty decent set of sailor abilities, especially for Hody teams, as I mentioned before. More attack is always great, and also boosting your HP makes Hody's HP pool a lot larger as well, so that's quite good. Now these are his max statistics, okay? So 3564 health, 1595 attack, and 283 recovery, 4 combo, 60 cost, 5 sockets. Now his limit break abilities, or his potential abilities, are side damage reduction and enrage. So enrage is one of the better limit break abilities in the game. I don't remember off the top of my head what his max value is with enrage, but if you have an enrage boost to his stats and you use his special, you're doing more damage with his special, which is very, very good. So that's amazing. So April 18th to April 22nd, as we mentioned, is when you will be able to farm up Treasure Map Whitebeard. And we will be live streaming over on twitch.tv/Toadski when this goes live. I do believe I'll be streaming, so make sure to go ahead and check that out when it actually comes out. But it says, by collecting treasure points, you'll be able to get treasure rewards, such as the new materials for Whitebeard in his limit break, of course. The new Whitebeard has a completed limit break, will be super powerful. His special, we already mentioned what his special does, and the new Whitebeard will be a trusty character in the next treasure map event in May. So we'll go through the point boosters list after we've talked about this, but the treasure mode Mihawk is also a point booster in this treasure mode. So it seems to be that every treasure mode unit from the previous event is going to be the point booster in the next event, so make sure you farm them up. They're going to be very, very useful for your crew. Yep, so it's surely going to be really good. Also remember, the higher your navigation level on Roaring Sea, the more treasure points you'll get. Strategize getting the most treasure points you can and rise above. About league assessment, assignment. So remember, guys, that depending on where you rank in the previous treasure map, you'll be ranked in a separate pool depending on where you ranked. Okay, so in the Grand Line rank, if you're in 2,000 or above in Grand Line, you'll be going up to New World. But if you're in the 10,000 or below, rank 10,000 or above. Oh, and rank 10,000 or above for the East Blue, you'll go up into the Grand Line tier. But if you're in New World tier, and if you were 8,001 or below, you will be demoted down into the Grand Line. And if you're in the Grand Line tier and you were 20,001th place, or first place or below, you will be going ahead and being demoted to East Blue. And if you didn't play at all, you'll be demoted as well. Here it says, if you have 0 treasure points at the end of this treasure map event, you will start in East Blue League for the next treasure map event. So make sure you are playing so you don't get demoted, because the higher your promotion, so if you're in the New World, which is the highest tier, you get the better drops and the better rewards from ranking and stuff like that. So make sure you're doing that. Alright, trusty characters. So this brand new Akainu, which is going to be available in the brand new treasure map Sugo-Fest. This is the kind of like the buggy from the last event. This character is a rare recruit only character that is available during the Sugo-Fest, and if you use him on your crew, you get 2 times treasure mode points, which is insane. He gets 2.5 times stats as well, and 10 turn cooldown reduction. So this guy's going to be amazing for this treasure map, and each of these rare recruit characters, the next one being Squad as well, both of these characters are very, very good for taking on the treasure map Whitebeard boss. Next, the 1.5 times boosters, there's actually 2 of them, being Squad and Buggy. So Buggy from the previous event is now a 1.5 times booster for this event. However, they did not state it, but I'm pretty sure for the next treasure map event that will happen in May, Buggy and Zora will not be treasure mode point boosters. However, Squad and Akainu in this treasure map will be boosters in the next event. So at least they're making it so that if you do get a treasure map character, if you are spending gems to get them, they are going to be boosters for future maps, which is quite good. I really like that they're doing that. It means that they're not kind of just worthless. But these 2 characters are actually pretty solid characters. I don't have up exactly what they do. I'll probably put it up on the side that you guys can read what these 2 characters do. So make sure you go ahead and reading that to decide whether or not you want to do pulls for them. And we'll go over the Sugo-Fest once we are ready as well. Okay, so let's go over next is going to be the 1.35 boosters. And this is going to be Judge, which is the newest legend in One Piece Treasure Treasure Cruise. You have Treasure Mode Mihawk, and also the Treasure Mode Rare Recruit Zoro. So for all those people that do the 2 multis to get the guaranteed character, at least you're going to have a 1.5 booster in that treasure map, and then a 1.35 in the next treasure map as well. This is actually pretty solid, so if you guys have these characters, everyone should have Treasure Mode Mihawk, and if you guys did do 2 multis for the Zoro, then you have yet another point booster here as well. And if you guys were lucky enough to get Judge, well, he's going to be the best team to take on Treasure Map Whitebeard, and we're going to be going over all of the different bosses and the teams that you guys can build against Treasure Mode Whitebeard in a separate video, most likely in a day's time, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Next, we have the 1.2 boosters, so this is where a majority of people's points are going to be coming from. A whole crew of 1.2 boosters is going to give you a 2.99 boost to treasure mode points, so you definitely want to try and build as many teams as possible with these characters to get the most points that you possibly can. Okay, so we've got all of the brand new batch, the Germa units. You got Reiju, Ichiji, Niji, and Yonji, of course. Next, you've got limited rare recruit Brandy World. Now, I'm kind of upset that they put a limited rare recruit in the treasure mode point booster pool, but it is what it is. He's here. Not much you can really do about it. 6+ Rob Lucci, 6+ Sengoku, and also 6+ Hody Jones. Remember, this only will be point boosters if they are max evolved. This will not work if you have regular Rob Lucci or regular 6-star Hody or 6-star Sengoku. It has to be the super evolved version to get the points on your team. Next, you've got the 2 legends in Intalk and Psy Law. Now, I kind of believe that these 2 characters are going to be the next super evolutions on Global. I don't know why these 2 specific units are boosted. Mihawk makes sense. He was boosted in the Japan version of this treasure map, but Law wasn't, and I don't know why Law is here. He could be getting a 6+, not too certain though. Next, we've got Gin from the Colosseum, Colo Sicilian, and Raizo as well. Then you've got Neo, Clash, Akainu, Dofi, Aokiji, and also regular Aokiji as well. You've got Raid Monster Chopper, Raid Frankie, and Raid Fujitora, all really good characters. Neo Mihawk, Neo and Raid Kizaru, Invasion Garp, and Invasion Cavendish. And then you've got a bunch of Fortnite characters in Sugar Treble, Blue Gilly, Funk Brothers, Abdullah and Jeet, Kinemon, and Momonosuke. Now, the one thing I want to state here is I don't know why there is a gap after these characters. I feel like they're leaving space to add more characters, and that's why I think that they might add the super evolutions for both Law and Intalk into this pool, potentially around the time of the Sugo-Fest going live. So maybe in a couple of days we'll get a download for these 2 characters getting a super evolution, or just a new super evolution. It doesn't really have to be those characters in particular, but just a brand new super evolution would be really good, and I'm sure a lot of the global players would be pretty hyped about that. But that is all the news for the treasure map. And let's go over the last thing, which is going to be the Sugo-Fest. So this is the Treasure Sugo-Fest, running from April 15th at noon o'clock all the way to the end of Treasure Map at April 22nd at noon o'clock. So this is a 7-day, week-long Sugo-Fest, and it says that the Treasure Sugo-Fest is here. The Sugo-Fest features rate boosts for characters who can get lots of treasure points from battles in Treasure Map, as well as characters able to limit break. What's more, in this Sugo-Fest, all wanted posters will be guaranteed to be 4-star or better, so this is a gold-only Sugo-Fest, or a gold or higher Sugo-Fest, which is always good. I do like that they are making these Treasure Sugo-Fest at least a little bit better to pull on. They are giving you more opportunities to get reds, or more opportunities to get the point boosters, because it is going to be gold only. It's just, I really hope that the rates are a lot better for the 2x point booster this time around. A lot of people really upset with how badly the rates were to get the 2x booster on part 1, but we'll see how it is. I'm sure it's going to be the exact same this time around. I don't see them changing it too much. The new Squad and Akainu have arrived as Sugo-Fest exclusive, so you can only pull them in this Sugo-Fest as of now. These new versions of Squad and Akainu will join at max level with the following unlocked powers: Despair, Bind, Auto Heal, and Charge Special. And obviously, if you pull the 4-star versions, they're not going to have all 4 socket spots, of course, but that's quite good. If you do pull the 5-star versions, they'll come at max level, and you'll have all 4 sockets already done, which is great. I do enjoy that. Characters other than the new Squad and Akainu will be joining at level 5, so these 2 are the only characters that have higher levels. than the other ones. Get your hands on Trusty characters for use in the treasure map in April, of course. For more information on Trusty characters, please check the treasure map. Notice the new squad and Akainu will also be useful as Trusty characters for the 3rd treasure map event. So this is what I was saying before. Akainu and squad are both going to be point boosters for the one in May. So if you guys are doing pulls for these characters and you do get them, they're going to be useful for 2 treasure maps, which is great. Always good to see that. The effects of Trusty characters will differ depending on the treasure map event. That is what I'm not too sure about. They stated that with Buggy and Zora as well, with their abilities changing or something. It's super weird. I don't really know what they mean by that. And it says they'll no longer be available. However, they may become available again at a later date. That's what they said about Buggy and Zora as well. The boost effect for treasure points only applies to the post-evolution characters. As I mentioned before, they have to be max level and evolved. Well, not really max level, but they have to be evolved for you to get the max points from a character, of course. Now, this is a 2-part Sugo-Fest. The first part is running from the 15th into the 17th. Now, this is basically meaning that for 2 days, you'll be able to do part 1, and for part 1, we'll go over the different parts, but basically, part 1 is where you can get the guaranteed 1.5 booster. In this case, it's going to be squad. And in part 2, you just have a significant rate boost for the Akainu, which is the 2 times boost. Very similar to the first Treasure Sugo that came out with Buggy and Zoro. So part 1, as I mentioned, on the second multi, you're guaranteed to get the new squad, which is great. The 3rd and 6th multi-pull will be guaranteed to be a red poster, and the 9th multi-pull, the last one of poster, is guaranteed to be a Sugo-Fest exclusive and will have the following characters rate boosted. These are not guaranteed on the 9th, these will just have a significant rate boost on the 9th multi, which is going to be Lucy, V2 Law, and Cat Viper. So if you're missing any of those characters, you could potentially do 9 multis. I don't know if you want to do 9 multis on a treasure map Sugo, but I mean, Lucy, Law, and Cat Viper are rated up. I really wish it was just guaranteed on the 9th. You're guaranteed to get one of those characters. I do think it's a little bit cheap, making it that they're just significantly rate boosted, or they're just rate boosted, because we all know that rate boost is still RNG at the end of the day, so you can still get quite fucked over by that. Now, in part 2, the new Akainu is significantly rate boosted. Now, take that as you will. I don't know how much the rate boost is. I don't think it's that significant, honestly. It's still pretty bad rates to get the character, but it is better than part 1, I will say. And the 3rd and 6th multi will be a guaranteed red, of course, and on the 9th multi, very similar to part 1, you'll have a significant rate boost for a couple of legends, being Judge, Sanji, and V1 Rob Lucci. So I don't know why Rob Lucci's here. I guess Rob Lucci is a point booster, but Judge is also the point booster as well. Sanji, you know, to be honest, part 2 looks good for me personally. I don't have Sanji and I don't have Judge, so I might save pulls for all on part 2, honestly. I'm not too sure, honestly. I'm not really too sure. But that's about it. And then there's the rate boosted rare recruits. So the rare recruits are going to be the new Akainu and squad, of course. The German units, Yonji, Ishiji, Niji, and Reiju are all boosted on both parts of the Sugo-Fest, which is why I'm considering doing part 2 personally. Margaret, Marigold, and Sandazonia, Sanji, the Strength of Timeskip Sanji, Suru, and also Manchu are all the rare recruits for part 1. And the rare recruits for part 2 are going to be Squad Akainu and the Vinsmokes, and then you got Raizo, Pedro, Sicilian, Wanda, Zio, Daruma, and Hyozo. And also all the legends are all the same, except there are the rate boosts for those 3 specific legends, of course. So basically, those legends are rate boosted throughout the whole Sugo, but then on the 9th multi, you have an even higher rate to get those specific legends as well. So yeah, it is what it is. But that is the entire bit of news that we have regarding the brand new treasure map Whitebeard that will be coming April 18th. At midnight PST. So hopefully you guys are getting ready for that. As I said, I will be uploading a video very soon of me detailing all of the bosses for Treasure Map Whitebeard and the optimal teams that you guys should be aiming for in order to take on the Treasure Map Whitebeard as well. But that is going to conclude this video, guys. I really hope you guys did enjoy it, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to smack the like button down below. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.